This guy, this dude is, oh God, yeah, here we go. Grant Cardone.
Every 15-year-old kid should be doing this right now. If you're getting an allowance of $300 a month, buy a piece of real estate that pays you $30 a month. Only use the 30, don't touch the 300.
I'm gonna be a millionaire before I'm 20, and this is how.
Well, guys, today's gonna be a...
By the way, that's her daughter. That's his daughter. Yeah, a $300 real estate. Like, what are you buying, a porta potty? Who gets $300 allowance a month? That girl probably does.
Fun one. There is something strangely horrifying yet entertaining about watching a person who is unbelievably out of touch with reality proclaiming how they think the world works. It's like reality TV, but better. Now, this is something we've looked at a lot on this channel because, surprisingly, it's a pretty common thing for those who get very popular on the internet. Who would have thunk? But today, we're looking at a different kind of out of touch. Those who amass great wealth almost always become disconnected from reality and sort of lose sight of the day-to-day struggles that the average person faces. It's kind of an...
I think also, like, this isn't even true with somebody who has a lot of wealth. I think that a lot of people just don't have the same experiences as each other. And the issue isn't that, like, it isn't that somebody is wealthy, it's that somebody refuses to acknowledge another person's reality.
Inevitable. However, this doesn't always have to be a horrible thing. Sometimes all people need is to be sat down and be told, hey man, you have no idea what you're talking about. And for a lot of people, that kind of snaps them back. Unfortunately, however, that does not work for everybody, and that is going to be demonstrated here pretty thoroughly today by the TikToks of Grant Cardone. Now, if you've never heard of this guy, he's basically a glorified course salesman who made a bunch of money.
That's the real way. If you want to learn how to make a lot of money and you're Grant Cardone, here's how you actually make a lot of money. You start selling courses about selling real estate. That's the way you make the money.
From real estate. And now he spends his days in Sigma male, alpha male edits, going on TikTok and giving out the worst, most out-of-touch financial advice a human being has ever provided. To be more specific, the financial advice he gives to parents is so laughable that I had to watch about a dozen videos before I could convince myself this guy is not just playing a character. These videos are hilarious, but they're also kind of depressing at the same time. It's gonna be kind of a roller coaster today. Strap in. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
Every 15-year-old kid should be doing this right now. If you're getting an allowance of $300 a month.
Alrighty, not even 5 seconds in, and we're already beginning to see the insanity unfold. Grant, buddy, do you think the average allowance for a 15-year-old is $300 a month? If I had to pull something out of my ass, I would have to guess that the average kid gets somewhere between nothing and $10 a week. Not 75. But this...
I remember when I was in high school, I got like $20 a week. It was like 20 or maybe 30 if I was a good boy. Like, that would be it.
Is not even really that relevant because it's not even close to the craziest thing he's going to say during this clip.
Buy a piece of real estate that pays you $30 a month. Only use the 30, don't touch the 300.
But how would a young, normal person get money?
Allowance, side jobs, side hustles. I was 14 years old. I was working every weekend. I was mowing lawns, doing whatever I could to get some extra money.
All right. Grant, are you fucking insane? Genuine question. Not trying to be mean. Are you crazy? You're a real estate investor, Grant. That's your...
I actually agree with what he's saying in this clip. Whenever I was 14, this is what I was doing when I was 14. I was burning CDs and selling them. I was memorizing all of the questions out of my math tests and then putting them onto my calculator and then selling the answers to them. I was selling soda at school because we weren't allowed to have soda in school in the vending machine, so I would take it and sell it to people at a higher price. I was also selling fireworks at school. I would save up my money, and then like every 4th of July or New Year's, I'd spend a lot of money on fireworks, and I'd sell them at school. Like, I actually did this myself. I did it all the time. Yeah, for sure. Like, and I think kids nowadays, like, there's a million ways you can make money as a kid, for sure. I was selling crack? Yeah, for sure. But it didn't really help you? I think it actually did. When you do stuff like that, you learn how to make sales, and you can, like, in a lot of cases, a lot of people aren't able to learn processes because they're not able to really make genuine mistakes in processes. But if you can make genuine mistakes in a process, you can actually figure out how to do the right thing.
thing, I know that you know this is impossible. First of all, let's play fantasy land here for a moment and act like a 15-year-old could actually get approved for a loan to buy a piece of real estate. Sure.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like the part that's ridiculous about this is buying real estate. Obviously, as a kid trying to make money, of course you do that. Like, I would also buy and sell Magic cards because I knew all the prices for every card, and kids at my school didn't know them. So I could like be like, oh yeah, I'll give you like $10 for all these cards, and I knew that like 2 cards in there were worth $15. So I would immediately make my money back, right? And there was like tons of ways that I would do that. I remember I would like leave class and then take people's money to buy like popcorn and brownies, and then I just wouldn't give them the change back. Like there were a million ways that I did this.
We can pretend that, I guess. You want children to go out and buy a piece of property that brings them in $330 a month while only costing $300 a month to finance. Okay, can you find me a single piece of property anywhere in the United States of America that fits that bill? That's like a $40,000 home, Grant. Can you find me a livable $40,000 home anywhere in America? Don't worry, I'll answer that for you. No, you can't. But for the sake of the argument, let's just say you could. But unfortunately for you, Grant, I'm going to take away the fact that we're living in a fantasy world back to reality.
Yeah,
a 15-year-old is not going to have any sort of credits, no assets, no collateral, so they're going to have to come up with a
they can't sign on to a contract. Like, it's actually just, it's not even that complicated. Like, it has nothing to do with any of that. A 15-year-old can't sign up for that stuff because they're not a legal adult and they can't sign a contract for these things. Like, it's just like, it's not even legal, right?
Payment, probably 25% for an investment property. That's 10 grand. Do you honestly believe that not only one, the average 15-year-old is getting a $300 a month allowance, but two, the average 15-year-old has 10 grand sitting in the bank? If you do, you're crazy.
I did not. I'll tell you, when I was 15, I did not have $10,000 in the bank. Yeah. Not even remotely close.
Man. And this is just scratching the surface. There's tons of other things you need for a loan. Kids don't have 2 years tax returns, Grant. Look, it's one thing if you want to make videos for children who have parents that are multimillionaires, but to say every kid should be doing this, that's so out of touch, it's kind of unbelievable.
I'm gonna be a millionaire.
I do think that kids should try to make their own money, though. I do. And like, if I was a parent, I would encourage my kid to try to make money in any way that like wouldn't get them like arrested, basically.
Before I'm 20, and this is how. I
Yeah,
work for my
learn the
dad's
hustle.
company. I have a
Exactly.
contract with them, and I get paid every month. And that goes into real estate, where I get my passive income, and I get to spend that. But I never get to touch that principal. And over time, that principal in real estate will make me a millionaire.
When she does more, I'll bonus her for stuff that she does. If one of these TikToks goes to 10 million, I'm gonna give her a $10,000 bonus. So
Well, that's okay. So that's how she gets the $10,000 is like because her dad gives her $10,000. Yeah, this is like the the success routine of the youngest vice president at a local marketing firm. And it's like, I wake up at 4 a.m, I do meditations, I make a journal of all the things I'm thankful for, I work out at 5 a.m, and then I come home and I make myself breakfast, and then I, make sure that I, watch TV and I catch up on the news. And also, by the way, my dad owns the company. Okay.
Truckers FM.
Great.
that 10,000 goes by as real estate. So she makes 50 a year. Let's say she averages 50 a year, but she will. She's doing a job. She's doing chores. She's doing work. I do not give her an allowance.
Okay, I mean, there's a lot going on here. Like I said, most of these videos are about his...
My mom would do this with me too, by the way. Is like she would give me money for lunch, but she wouldn't really give me any other extra money. And the only way that I could get money is if I did something for her, or I made money off of somebody else.
Advice to parents. So most of these videos involve his kid. I'm not going to be shitting on his kid. I think she's like 15. Probably doesn't understand how out of touch the situation is. But the reason you're going to be a millionaire before you're 20 is because your dad is worth $600 million. Yeah, that's
a lot of
kind
money.
of the cheat code. Also, Grant, you can say you don't give your kid an allowance if you just want to make shit up, I guess.
You don't give them an allowance. You just give them $10,000 when they have a TikTok that does well. Yeah, it's totally different.
define what words mean and what not, but yeah, if you give your kid $50,000 a year for doing chores, that is an allowance. Now look, I want to make this clear. I don't really have a problem with what this guy's doing. You absolutely should be investing for your children and setting their future up for them. I'm a very firm believer that if you're not willing to invest in your child's future and give them the best shot at success possible and guarantee them a better start than you had, you shouldn't be having kids. The problem is how he doesn't seem to understand how out of touch this is, while simultaneously acting like this is some groundbreaking stuff. Yeah.
Well, this is what happens a lot of times with a lot of these like alpha male internet dad people, is that they try to repackage something that's common sense as if it's like groundbreaking sigma male, like fucking alpha mentality. It's like, yeah, so when you get money, you don't want to spend all your money. So you want to get money and then keep some of the money, and then you want to use that money to buy something that's going to make you money. And people are like, what? Wait, so I'm not, oh my God, so I don't need to buy $100 worth of Twizzlers a month? Holy shit, thank you, Grant. Thank God I'm spending $100 a month on your courses instead. That's what it's all about.
Give your kid $50,000 a year and $10,000 here and there when a TikTok does well. No shit, she's gonna be a millionaire before she's 20.
Duh.
Okay, the 50,000 times 10 years, which she will have at least 10 years, is 500 grand. If that money doubles because she never touched it, she's a millionaire. It will have paid her $300,000 in income that was not taxed. And I wrote off $500,000 of salary from the IRS. So it's a win-win.
So he's basically talking about, now we get down to the actual reason why he's doing this. He's giving his kid money because he can write the money off from his taxes. This has nothing to do with what his kid is or isn't doing. This has everything to do with how can I make it, how can I figure out how to pay less money in taxes. It's not tax evasion. It's not. It's tax avoidance, maybe. Avoidance is unethical. Evasion is illegal. That's the difference, by the way. But, yeah, no, everybody does this. Everybody tries to save money on taxes.
Win for everybody. I'm never going to give a kid an allowance for living in my house. Shit, she's lucky to live in my house.
Yeah, okay, Grant. I don't know if this is an attempt by you to be snarky and just act like money means nothing to you. It just makes you look like a douchebag. We get it. $100,000 a year is nothing to you. Can't even qualify it as an allowance.
Crazy.
I just don't understand the angle.
Parents are stupid to give their kids allowances. Here's how I get money as a father.
I don't agree with that. I think that it's really good to give your kid an allowance because it teaches them how to budget. Like, if you have, like, if you give your kid a certain amount of money and your kid can do whatever he wants with that money, I think that's extremely healthy.
14-year-old. Every year I'm paid a certain sum of money from the company for being an employee. This means I have certain obligations I have to fill. I have to help people out around the office. That sum of money goes and gets invested into real estate. That real estate then has passive income, and that money I get paid with every month. I get paid $150, $400 every single month. I get to spend that, but I never get to spend the principal income I have. So every year that principal, it stacks on top of each other, and over time my passive income becomes more and more.
Okay, so look, I'm not doubting that that's how you and your dad have had.
Yes, that's the way that compounding interest works. Yep.
Handled you getting money, but let's all be on the same page
Sure.
here. That is an allowance. You get money that comes from your dad because it's getting paid out by your dad.
I don't get an allowance. My dad just gives me money. Oh, man.
Company for doing chores around your dad's office. Yeah, that's an allowance. You are describing being a trust fund baby who gets an allowance. That's it. Again, nothing wrong with that. But stop trying to act like you guys are better than everybody else because you don't want to use
it. The problem is that if you use this as information to give other people, you do them a disservice because other people can't have this experience that you did. So it's like, yeah, just do what I did, but you have some sort of like weird advantage that other people don't have access to.
The word allowance.
I bring home the deadbeat. He has a tattoo on his face like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
This guy, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to react?
Number one, Mike Tyson can put a tattoo anywhere he wants. That guy you're with hadn't done anything. He hadn't won one fight, much less 50.
Holy shit, what a crazy thing to say to your daughter as a father. Yeah, as long as the guy you're with beats the shit out of people, he can do whatever he wants. That's kind of a weird thing to say.
I think Grant's being facetious here. I don't really think that's what he actually means. I think he's just goofing around, to be fair.
Grant.
Okay, but what if I really love him?
I'm gonna tell you, man, you bring a kid home who's got a tattoo on his face, I got a problem with that. What were you thinking?
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
What happened to you? Because all we know is
To be fair, I don't know anybody who has a face tattoo who isn't stupid. I don't know any of them, right? And it's extremely common.
this kid took and put tens of thousands of injections into his face. What thought process did he go through to decide to do that? You either did something out of one moment, or you took a long period of time to think about doing it.
Which one's
Either
worse?
way,
Either way.
Yeah.
we got a problem. And now I got a problem with you because now you fell in love with some guy that makes weird decisions.
You know what, guys? I don't really like this. This is kind of weird. But honestly, I've got to respect the hustle. Sure, I could be talking out of my ass here, but I think we all know what's going on here. Look, you have me born into a family where my dad is worth $600 million. I'm going to tell that motherfucker anything he wants to hear. Yeah, Dad, my boyfriend has a face tattoo. You should just fucking kill him. I'm not doing a single thing to mess up that inheritance. You want me to do a podcast where I agree with everything you say? Okay, sure, whatever. You gotta respect the grind.
What kind of car do you think I should get? Because I want something that is like a nice car.
I can buy her anything, by the way.
This is a great feeling. But I want something that's a nice car, but I also don't want it to be super flashy, super loud, nothing like that screams like, oh, I'm super spoiled. Just something that's like, it's a nice car, she probably comes from a good family, but that's all I want it to say.
You even said you were willing to have a used car with some scratches on it. Why'd you say that?
For sure.
Well, I'll be. What a nice young lady. You would be willing to have a free car with...
My first car was a 1998 Nissan Altima that had hail damage. My second car was a 1992 Isuzu Rodeo that had door damage, hail damage, window damage, no AC, no cup holders, mold damage, leaky sunroof. The door didn't open. I had to come in from the other side. I had to open the door in order to get my food from fast food. And I think there was some, it didn't have a radio. Radio was damaged. I think there was one more that I had. And 1992. And then I had a 2001 Mustang until recently. After you paid for it? No, I bought that car myself. It was like $1,500. The first car that my dad did buy it for me, it was like $3,000. But this was a very, very long time ago.
Scratches
I got
on
lucky
it?
in that regard.
Holy shit. Guys, do we have like a reward we can give her for this? Look, I'm not trying to be a douche, but come on. My first car was $200. It stopped working in 3 months. Somebody saying he'll take a free car with a scratch or two is not very impressive. Not to anybody outside of this kind of circle.
I don't want a new car. Right now, I think the car that I want is the new Toyota Land Cruiser.
Okay. How much is a Toyota Land Cruiser? I'm actually curious. Let me search this. SRP. We are looking at a first edition between $56,000 and $74,000. That's a pretty expensive car.
What? You don't want a new car, but you want a new car? Okay, sure, whatever.
That came out. The Land Rover Defender. I like those kind of bulky cars. Like they're not quite SUVs. The G-Wagon.
That's what I thought. I liked it, but you don't like that car. Like, it's annoying to move it around to get it in parking lots. Like, you think that it's good. The only thing that's good about those cars is that you can get all of your boys in the car at the same time. Like, cause did you guys ever have this shit happen where like whenever you were kids and like somebody had a car
and there would be like 8 people in like the the sedan. Right? It's like a 4-person car. There's 8 people in the car. There's like somebody sitting. There's like 2 people in the front seat, 5 people in the back seat, 1 person laying down there. And then like the cop pulls over and you're like, everybody right? Yeah. 2 in the trunk. That's what we used to do a lot, man. No, we never had somebody in the fucking trunk. So that was the only good thing about like having like the rodeo, right? Is we could get like 10 people in the car, it would not fucking matter, right? Like, we had 2 seatbelts in the car, but we have 10 people in the fucking car. And so, yeah.
Like that kind of shape of car I like.
Yeah.
And the Toyota Land Cruiser is kind of the same kind of shape.
Yeah, the new Land Cruiser is pretty cool looking.
The new Land Cruiser is really cool.
Car,
Okay,
yeah.
look, I have nothing against this kid for wanting a nice car. Seriously, if my parents were worth $600 million, I'd be asking for something a lot.
I don't think that you should want an expensive car, especially as a young person, because it sets you up as a mark for people that are looking to rob cars, because they assume that people who have nice cars that are extremely young don't have the value of money, and so they would break into the car and be more likely to steal out of it. I don't know how I know that. I had a friend that told me that.
Fucking nicer than a Toyota, I promise you. It's okay to want nice things when you know that money means nothing to your parents. I'm not gonna sit here and hate on this kid, but if you're being genuine, if what you're saying is true, I'm really sorry to be the one that has to break this news to you, but getting a brand new $100,000 car for your 16th birthday does
That's
in
a
fact
lot.
scream, I'm super spoiled. Hell, it announces that you're
Yes, it does. It seems like and also like I would get my kid a shitty car because I would just assume, especially if I had a boy, oh, you're gonna fuck this up. You're gonna fuck the car up. Like, everybody knows you're gonna fuck it up. Like, how many of you guys fucked up your first car? Like, we fucked up. Like, we were lighting fireworks in the car. Like, there's garbage in the car all the time. Like, I had people like back up into my car. I never have been in an accident before. Never. But like, I remember like there was this one, like Eric had like some house party. Some drunk girl backed up into my car. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Yeah, like so many fucking problems. Yeah, I mean, like driving over the curb, fucking up the axles. Yeah, we had this happen all the time. Nope, took good care of it. Well, we didn't. Like, we never actually broke the car, but we didn't take good care of it either.
spoiled to the entire universe. The average amount of money spent on a person's first car is $7,000. And that number is only so high because car prices were absolutely demolished by COVID. A six-figure Land Rover or a $70,000 or $80,000 Land Cruiser for a first car? Yeah, sorry, but that's spoiled.
What age
I
do
think
you
also it's bad to have a person as their first car because it's harder to maneuver around. Like, I would want to get my kid like a small car, like, or at least like an average size car, like your average, like Lexus, or if I was rich, right, and I'm like buying my kid an expensive car, it'd be like a Lexus or something like that.
think I'll make it to $100 billion? That's
You could do that by the time you're 35 years old because everybody else
Wow.
around you is sleeping. Lazy's not the problem right now. They're indoctrinated. They're watching their phones. Their heads are going to be falling over their shoulders by the time they're 40. Any kid. You don't need to go to college. That's 4 or 5 years that you would waste. Put your head down now. Find the right vehicle, the right opportunity. Get in it. Learn everything you can about it. Not the little stuff, but the big things that make
All
the
the big
thing grow.
details.
You could be 35. You could be one of the most influential people in the world.
Look,
The crazy thing is that this is the problem with people like Grant Cardone, is that he was absolutely spitting. Everything that he just said was completely fucking accurate. Absolutely. Yeah, he's not wrong. He was completely right about that. And that's the issue with a lot of these course salesmen, is that it's the same with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate doesn't have 100% bad ideas. Neither does Grant Cardone. But the issue is that there are enough bad ideas that are sprinkled in there. Like, for example, like if you wanted to eat a cupcake, would you want to eat a cupcake that had shit sprinkles on it? Well, no, of course not. Well, it's only a small part of the cupcake, though. Yeah, but you don't want to eat a cupcake with shit on it, though. That's pretty much about it. Most of his ideas are bad, though. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, with this circumstance. And I think it's disappointing because, like, people do, like, kind of write off everything a person like this says, which I actually don't agree with, right? pick the sprinkles
Look,
off.
I'm sure this is
now
probably
you got
just
shit
part
on
of their
your hands.
shtick, but stuff like this is so disingenuous. You heard it here first, folks. Any kid, no matter what, can have $100 million worth of assets by the time they're 35 if they just put their nose to the grindstone. The fact that this
If you work really hard as a kid and you spend 20 years, like let's say you're 15, and you spend 20 years developing a skill set of something that's valuable and that you can monetize, you will have a tremendous degree of financial freedom if you do that and you're successful at it. Like, for example, YouTube editors, people that are good at coding, people that are good at like hacking, right? People that are good at, I don't know, like fucking anything. Like not survivorship bias. That's such a stupid way to look at it, I think. Of course there's going to be people that do all of the right things and they don't succeed. But doing the right things increases your probability of succeeding. So you should try to do them anyway. Obviously, there are some people that work hard and they still lose. But working hard and losing is less common than not working hard and losing. It's pretty simple. Like, I don't know how you could not think like that. It's kind of a bad take, I think. So you think like working hard doesn't play any factor or any variable in like your success? That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
girl's father is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, gives her no sort of advantage whatsoever. It's just because all the other kids right now are lazy. That shit is so lame. I mean, seriously, be proud of the wealth you've created. Be proud of the opportunities you've opened up for your children and how easy you've made it for them. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Acting like who you are and what you're worth has nothing to do with the fact that your kid's gonna be a millionaire. That is something to be ashamed of.
Of course.
That's lame. Well, guys, what do you think? Are you motivated? Are you ready to go out and buy a house for 36 pennies a month and become...
No, but I might be motivated enough to buy his course, which is why he's actually making the TikToks.
a millionaire
That's
by the time
the
you're
real
11.
reason.
If not, that's fine, I guess.
That's
But Grant
where we're
Cardone
really
did tell me
going.
that he'd hate you, so you're gonna have to live with that. I can't
Uh-huh.
wait for all the finance bros to invade the comment section of this video, telling me I'm just jealous, I don't see the vision. I would genuinely rather die with $0 in my bank account than ever buy a course from one of these goofballs. It's called not being a dumbass. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything.
not be-
But
yeah.
for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.
Yep. I think in a lot of cases, you see the new RuneScape drama. No, I'll look at that. Give me a second. Let me take a look at it. But I'll link this video to you guys. I thought this was kind of funny. August the Duck. I've never seen one of his videos before, but I agree with a lot of what he's saying here. Is like people that like to ascribe like what their success is to like I'm working hard. The fact is, terrible video. I don't think it was terrible. I like the I like the focus on this stuff because I think that there should be more of an emphasis put on people that are trying to sell like solutions like this. I'm very much not a fan of it, and I think that the people that are doing things like that are doing it in a way that is it's misleading and it's delusional. Out of touch? Yeah, I think it's out of touch as well. And I think also like as a kid, I would want my kid hustling however they could. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Try to do whatever you can to make money. Because if you're not going to do that, then like you're not going to, maybe you won't have as much money as you want. Absolutely do it. Yeah, 100%.
encima compra yo sanitary napkin na.
Sí. Sí. Hey everybody, welcome to AJS News. This is the first of 2 videos we got for you today.
But first, a word from our sponsors. Hey guys, letting you know that Rocket Money is still saving me a ton of money, and it can save you a ton of money too. You look here, it shows you all of your reoccurring subscriptions. What I got Xbox Game Pass, that's okay. YouTube Premium, I like that one. And Uber One, oh, that's for like all the Uber Eats that I get. Yeah, I order a lot of food, so that's okay. Guys, check this app out. It can save you money.
Yeah, the average user saves up to $700 a year. Over $500 million in savings from canceled
I
subscriptions.
can attest to that. I have saved hundreds, if not over 1,000, because my insurance rate has actually been lowered. They can lower and negotiate certain rates for you.
Yeah, you can also get yourself organized, check out your subscriptions to video games and movies, and set your budget to whatever you like.
It lets me know and it lets me budget. Get it now. You can go to rocketmoney.com/angryjoeshow. The greatest part, it's completely free to try. Check it out. Click that link down below. There are some additional premium features if you really like it that you can go in on, but it has saved me so much money completely free, and that's what we love doing here for you guys. So, all right, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Check it out. Guys, we love saving you money. Click the link down in the description to do so. Okay, so over the weekend, I put up, AJS News. As you can see here, I was doing some filming earlier for Black Ops 6. So we are currently doing that angry review. Thank you for your patience. That should be coming out sometime this week. Maybe by Thursday, and then we're already working on a Dragon Age Fatal Guard, so we're about to slog our way through that one. And however, over the weekend, a little bit of an AJS controversy, guys. They let me know the comments that and the AC guys are calling me. Give me 1 second. Okay, that was the AC people. They're probably going to call again. I need to leave those notifications on because after spending $10,000, the AC only lasted 1 week and broke again. So they are on their way right now. Yes, a different part of when
it definitely wasn't their fault.
It's been 80 degrees, 90 degrees up here this whole fucking time this past week, and I just stayed away from this area then. So stay tuned for that. But over the weekend, a little bit of an AJS controversy happened. We uploaded a Payday 3 video, and it got downvoted to hell. Something like 55% downvoting. A lot of people were upset that basically we went back and covered a game that had a bad release. So me, Joe, Alex, we went through all the comments. We love seeing your feedback. We wanted to hear from you guys to see what people were actually saying about the video. When you get one negative comment and then multiple negative comments, then it all, kind of spirals into and changes people's minds and things like that. So we here at the Angry Joe Show, we want to address anything that we can do better for you. So I kind of looked at it as kind of 2 separate issues at play for why people were upset of our coverage of Payday 3. One is as old as the channel when we started in 2008. It started the second I put up my first review. It was like the next day, hey, where's the next review? Why is the next review not up? A day after you put out the first one. Well, it takes time, and, for angry reviews, I've alluded to it in the past. I don't really want to share my personal life and put it out there at what happened when I was not able to cover Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Dragon's Dogma 2. People were real angry that I didn't get an angry review out there, but trust me, there's a big reason for that, and maybe in the future I can share it. But these angry reviews take 60 to 80 hours. It's a huge process. They take far more time than any of our other videos. And it takes creative energy, effort, costume, pieces, elements that all come together. So I wish I started my show where I'm just playing footage and I'm talking over it. That would have been ideal for the situation that I'm in now, but that's not what I did then. I worked my ass off like 60, 70. Joe knows. I just wake up and I would go to sleep and all I've done is the Angry Joe Show because I had no friends, no girlfriend, nothing. So it was easy to do that when over the weekend I could put in 10 hours on Friday, 10 hours on Saturday, 12 hours on Sunday and get it done but now I have a family. I have people that rely on me and stuff, and so You can't really live like that. I can't do that anymore. So I have a life and loved ones, but I do need better processes for angry reviews. Like something will happen in my personal life and it'll take out a lot of that time. So I'm putting processes in, especially for 2025. I mean, we're already recording for Black Ops, but I don't think people understand, sometimes there's ebbs and flows. Like one year I only did 11 reviews. The next year I do 17 reviews. So just be patient. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And I think for a lot of games that we don't cover, we're going to increase the other types of formats. I was just scared that I would get yelled down that if it's not an angry review, you don't want the video at all. And I just have to be like, bro, I put in my work 13 years now. Maybe we could do sit-down discussions for games that we miss, and extended review discussions, because we have opinions. We have funny skits that we could still put into those and have good discussions on these. And then secondly, I think people are a little upset that we went back to a game that fucked up on release. They're saying, wow, you're corporate commander now. Alex has been saying, and you have been saying the whole time that when a game comes out and they fuck it up, then that's it. They don't deserve your money anymore. Or us telling you to go back and check on a game that had a rough state at release. So let's address that. So seeing a game get better, number one, with the Payday specifically, they're fans of our show. And they've been watching our show for a long, long time. And they know they fucked up. Yes. And they said, Joe, hey, we fucked up on release. We want you to take a look at the game. We want you to spread it with your audience. And you can say whatever you want. You say you fucked up, like we fucked up on release and this and that. And we have this and this and this, and where we made it better. We said, okay, well, hold on. I don't have a lot of those companies come to talk to me, or a lot of those companies that are a fan of the show that say, hey, we've really taken the feedback and we wanted to do better and we've implemented this and that. So all three of us, we jumped in. We checked it out. We went through the community. We went through all the posts. We saw all the improvements they made. You even see it on Steam. It went from, mostly negative, over time it was even worse than that, to positive now. So they've actually made improvements. And when we played it, we had a lot of fun. And we were like, okay, should we take this particular deal? It's like, okay, yes, because this is an example of a company doing it right. And I know some people will argue, oh, well, you guys aren't playing No Man's Sky, or you guys aren't playing, Cyberpunk 2077 and some of these other ones. But it's not,
You still gave them like a fair shake, because like last news, you told them, it's like, hey, they're doing this. There's a Halloween special. Go check out.
We do news on No Man's Sky.
Yes.
At least
it's
one.
Hey,
it
go
feels like
check
once
it
a
out.
month. We talk
Yeah, and I know people really want to see us play it and engage with it, because it's like it's seeing your friends play a game that has gotten better, and we want to. It's just we have a limited time for a lot of the things that we do here, and but getting back to the point here is that if a company who is a fan of the show and they fucked up in the past and they said, Joe, we fucked up, we want you to show how we've made improvements, and we go in and we actually see the improvements, then to me that is a positive thing. That's something that I had no issue sharing with you, and I didn't see an issue with it at the time, especially if we vet the game ourselves. And we did, and we had a lot of fun with it. And if they're genuine, if they've done the work, and I know maybe when we talk about some other games, it's like, no, they fucked up, and that's like for Fantastic or something the day before, those types of companies. I'm not saying every company deserves a second chance, but if the companies actually put in the effort and the work and they do the right thing and they're genuine, and if they get it done, then I don't see a problem giving them a second chance. Look at No Man's Sky, look at Cyberpunk, look at Sea of Thieves. These are games that we gave a really hard time at release. And if they contacted us now and said, hey Joe, we really love your show, update 13 is coming out, would you share it with your fans? We would go into those games, we would play those, and we'd say, yeah, we like that, and we're going to bring it to you. The thing is, we never want to shill, we never want to tell you to do something that we wouldn't do ourselves. If we make sure that it's good, we make sure that they are trying to deliver on all these promises and make right. And so that's, yes, we do have a limited amount of time in a week or in a month to cover something. So we have to kind of cover the thing that makes sense for us. And Like if you're upset that we got paid to cover one game over another and you really wanted this game, covered instead, that's totally your right. I'm not taking that away from you. I understand completely. But I just wanted to explain to the community that this is, kind of a perfect storm with the angry reviews, which we're aware of, and we want to bring more to you, but they're never going to come out. Some people think that I did angry reviews like 4 times a month or 6 times a month. That's impossible. It's never been that way. It's really only been like 1 or 2. And and it's just the 3 of us, and so we're doing the best that we can. Thank you guys so much for your understanding and your patience, and we are open to discussion. We don't want to shy away from if you guys think we fucked up on something, let us know. But this is what our feelings were when we took it on. This is all the behind the scenes stuff that we did when we took that on. So we wanted to bring that to you guys and make y'all aware. If you guys want to say something, because I know me and Alex and Joe, we all talked about this before.
And we talked about it before, and integrity here is paramount. I cannot, I do a lot of business development stuff, and we turn down stuff all the time.
Yes, Alex brings it. He kind of handles a lot of that stuff for us, and we never take something that we don't personally.
And so, like, when we got this one, we sat down because I wasn't aware of what Payday had to do. We sat down, we were on the phone, he was going over the Steam thing. He's like, wow, this thing's really turned around, maybe we should check it out. We sat down and we played it. We got with our buddy Zero, who is put in, like, I don't know how many 100 hours in that game, and been like, hey, is this something that works out? So it's like, integrity is the most important thing. That was the thing that kind of drove me crazy with, like, oh, you guys are selling out. It's like, buddy, life would be easier if that was on the table. I promise.
Raid Shadow Legends is our next.
If we start doing Raid Shadow Legends, and sure,
then let us know.
Throw that
Fucking
at
spank
me.
us on the ass.
But I mean, it's like we have products that get sent to us all the time, and like physical products are like, hey, this is trash, and they're like, well, will money make you say it's not trash? No.
And I think a part of it is video games. Like, I don't think people care when we do promos on food and saving you money.
I would never lie about food.
I know you would.
Never lie about food.
But I guess when it comes to video games, we're open to all feedback. But when we get a promo for a video game, we play it ourselves. We make sure it's fun. If we're having fun with it, then it's like, I have no problem. It's like, that's something I believe in. I want to share it.
I promise you, we have done what were going to be promotional things that turned out not to be promotional things based on the things coming out of that guy's mouth. And they're like, you can't do that. It's like, we told you we would not lie.
Yeah.
And
so thank you guys so much for it. Joe, go ahead if you wanted to say anything on that.
No, you guys pretty much nailed it. Like, we actually went through it. They knew they messed up, and like, hey, we fixed everything we went through. Checked out the comments too. So like, a lot of them were pretty positive. It's like, this should have been like in the base game. Now it's playable. Now we're having fun. Yeah. This is the way it should have been. It's like, okay.
And I really appreciate some of you guys in the comments that understood that. Like Drake O'Bloody. It's like, what the fuck are you all on about? AJ is one of the most give it to you straight, honest reviewers out there. He's been blacklisted by most AAA companies for being angry and honest about their games. That's absolutely true. And I don't get review copies anymore. And frankly, I did stop asking for review copies because the companies would just straight ignore us all the time. He's always been outspoken, about how Payday 3 mishandled the launch and other games mishandled the launch. He's been vocal about criticizing its shortcomings. And now you're telling me when the game is finally fixed or getting there, he can't cover it? It's like, haters be hating, man. It's like, so I really appreciate some of you that said, hey guys, this is just an update that they're sharing on the game and saying, hey, if you're interested in playing this, cool. If not, cool. Moving on. Right now, like I said, we're already recording our additional reviews. We just cover things that we're interested in. And I know it feels bad when we don't cover something that you wanted us to cover, because I am also a fan. I also look at other YouTube channels. What the fuck? Why didn't you cover that particular thing? Oh, because you're getting money or because you're doing this and that. It's like, I understand it can be a complicated thing. So I want to, we are business here, and when I was doing the Angry Joe show, I didn't know that doing these long form reviews with parodies and in 60 hours, 80 hours in one would would even
shot
make
yourself
money.
in the foot.
Would even make money, much less support one adult person in salary, much less support 3 people's adult salaries and support crew and stuff. And it's like that just can't sustain the show that way with just doing the angry reviews and angry reviews only. And there has to be content in between, and we have a lot to say on movies, streaming. I even wanted, for the longest time, I have a bunch of stuff downstairs, stuff reviews. I've always wanted to bring back stuff reviews, angry review
Egg boner,
stuff.
your horrible egg boner thing. You
Yes.
have to do a review for
It's
it.
so
Like a different
it's gross.
flavor of
It's-
wacky chips. Like I have Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity Lay's potato chips down there. There's all these things, and I'm scared. It's like, do I do this? Well, if I do this fun little video, everybody's gonna what the fuck? What the fuck is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth video? And what the fuck? How dare you take this promotion and this and this? Like, what? It's like, fuck, man. And so I haven't done it. But in 2025, we're gonna restructure and you know, I'm just gonna fuck again. I'll put in my work. I'm gonna fucking put whatever the fuck I want out, you know, that stays true to my heart, that I'm passionate about. Fucking tier lists. I love tier lists. I've been wanting to do them. And I hope you guys, you know, are still along for the ride. And reviews are still there. I have great passion for angry reviews. I do get a little worried sometimes. It's like, man, I'm not inspired with this particular game. Like, what do I do? And that's when I lean on Alex, coming up with amazing parodies. Joe always like funny as fuck. And then we, you know, we get those creative juices and melding going, and boom, we put it out.
We mix our juices.
We mix our juices, so it's an ebb and flow, and right now it might be an ebb, and it's gonna flow here in a minute. So thank you so much, guys, for your understanding. I know this was big and long, but you know, if you want an
Just the way you
explanation,
like it.
come and watch this part. You know, share this with other people who want an explanation of how could you do this, Joe, on Payday. It's like, I didn't think that's, you know, showing the improvement of a game, especially fans. Hey, we know we fucked up. Check it out. And this. And it's okay. You guys did improve. Hey, they're improving. Now, other things, I could be way more critical. I could have mentioned that a lot more up front. Like, these guys fucked up hardcore. And I should have shared. I feel like if I would have shared that story up front, then then you guys would have been more understanding. So I'm gonna be way more transparent with that. But I was just thinking, maybe we don't give a fuck about this in the background stuff. And people at Payday 3 players will always love the game or are more understanding of the game. It's like, yeah, I really like this. They don't want to hear about that kind of stuff. But I think it's always being better to be upfront and transparent. So I'll put a lot more of that in the videos, and I think you guys are cool with it. It's not long intros. Just like this. So let's get into the news now after that extremely long intro. Alex, what the hell else has been going on in gaming?
Oh, have I got a movie for you guys based on one of the most important video games of all time. It's going to be made by Apple, that horrible corporation that I hate in all aspects. But it's Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Are you ready to ford the river and die of dysentery and not be able to hit the squirrels because the CPU is too fast?
Don't shit on Oregon Trail.
I love
Okay,
Oregon
this
Trail.
was our childhood. I know for younger people out there, they're probably like, what the fuck is Oregon Trail? Well, when you're at school, you're fucking bored. You're not allowed to, you know, hang
You didn't
out.
have cell phones.
You didn't have cell
No
phones.
internet available.
You're not allowed to bring out your Tiger Electronic X-Men that we would have. That's the kind of shit we would play. Yeah, that stuff would get confiscated. But when you're in computer science, you're like, oh, an excuse to play, you know, on the computer, and we would all load up Oregon Trail and play that.
You got to be a banker because they can afford more.
And it was glorious because technically you were doing schoolwork, but not really.
So he was bougie and he got a Tiger handheld. I had the thing with water in it that you push it and makes a
Oh,
bubble
yeah.
and it puts the ring on the thing, or like the basketball through the thing.
Oh, I
that was my
remember.
Tiger. So yeah, it's coming out. It's being directed by someone who you don't know, and it's being written by someone.
There's already, I think, an Oregon Trail horror or something looking thing that I think Joe might want.
Did you watch Carved?
No,
The people
not
I
yet.
told you to watch. It's about a pumpkin that's tired of people cutting up his people in Halloween, and he goes on murders revenge.
Sounds like
Yeah, they're all of those things are exactly the same. Terrace Hell's exactly like they're all the same. So that's this news stories movie. We got some news this week on Meta's AR/VR Reality Labs division.
They're positive now.
Their losses are guesses.
Positive.
Guesses.
$2 billion.
Guess.
4.
You have to. Price is right, man. You've seen the show. He goes 2. You go 2.1. I mean, at 4.1, $4.4 billion.
4.4?
4 billion.
But Joe is closer
I
than
know,
me.
but he needs.
I
If you
still
say
would've-
2, he's supposed to say
2.1.
2.1 because it's the closest without going
So
over.
there's a bigger shock. Wait, what?
I need my.
But Joe just deflated it by saying, well, yeah, it was $4 billion.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. So their expenses were up 19% year on year to 4.7 billion. Because they're not making any money. They make no money. And they also noted that the Reality Labs operating losses to increase meaningfully year over year. Not profits. Their losses are going to increase meaningfully. Because they want you to buy a house that doesn't exist. They want you to wear goofy glasses that I guess are going to help you do stuff at work. Like you'll
Watch
be able,
like a big screen TV, but only you.
yeah.
Your friends come over and look too much.
Yeah, and then Apple will do little pop-ups to remind you that your power cord has, gone obsolete because they timed it.
Well, it's a great write-off for them, but I don't know what else are they doing with it.
I
do shit.
I have no idea. They said they have a lot of. I'd say Reality Labs is clearly one of our strategic long-term priorities, and we expect it to be an area of significant investment. So they're going to continue to just light billions of dollars on fire every day.
Yeah, I mean, I watched this really intelligent video. I wish I would have remembered its title, but to sum it up, it was a lot of cell phone companies have a lot of power and influence, and Facebook was like, we need a space where we can have power and influence without having to rely on other people to pay other people. And they saw an opportunity with fucking VR. And that's why they went so hard into VR. But to me, I don't think that VR was, to sustain numbers at that level and this breakout into mass audiences where fucking employees, instead of walking into the conference room and meeting each other in person or over video teleconference calling, that everybody would stick on a fucking Facebook Meta helmet.
You don't got legs.
No, I just don't think that was ever really in the cards. And so they've lost billions of dollars. There's no end in sight. I don't know what the fuck they're doing or where they're going with it.
You quit. Like, let's say that all of the investors go, bro, like $50 billion. And you want to do more, and then they're like, well, if we stop now, we lose 50, but if we keep going, we can potentially. It's like, look, this is what sunk cost fallacy is. And it's going to take a brand new person in charge to be like, stop the bleeding. I know it's going to hurt, but we got to get out of this.
Or release something worthwhile.
I don't know what the hope is, but I don't know. We'll see.
I guess from a fantasy part, you hope that they've advanced technology so goddamn much because they're pouring so much money into it that the headset gets so cheap, so awesome, so wireless, so additional power with just the head. Just putting this on, having it plug into nothing else, like the MetaQuest. Maybe by MetaQuest 7 is where it would truly be this revolution, or you'd put on the sunglasses and very, very lightweight with computer chips in it. And then at that point, they could get out of it what they're thinking that they can get out of it now. But that's a long way away. That's a fantasy. But I don't know. I'm kind of glad somebody's doing it, because I like technology and I like advancements in that field, but I'm glad that it's not my money going towards it, or a company that I've invested in, because I don't think it's smart.
They read a bunch of, Snow Crash and Ready Player One. They're like, I want to do that. I want to be the evil corporation that owns the Ultraverse, and it's going to be great. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
But all right. In more video gaming news, Monster Hunter Wilds had a beta this weekend. Drew almost 500,000 concurrent Steam players in the first
We
hour.
desperately wanted to play this too, but again, that's when the AC broke, and I was dealing with the AC guy most of the day, and the
played Veilguard for
beta
6
was
hours,
over.
too.
But I saw all the PC performance issues. Have you seen the hilarious pictures of the untextured guys on PC? I probably would have ran in. I was like, fuck, man, I would have been able to experience and laugh at that.
Yeah, that's the only thing that the next article I've got is the PC performance was pretty poor. Capcom has said that the game is already in a more improved state. They continue development when they're like, look, this is going to be what the beta is, and then they continue working, and so the current version is beyond that. But there's some pretty hilarious videos that have been playing up there. I really like the cooking scenes. There's a great cooking scene, and you guys are watching it now, and everyone talks about how amazing the cooking in Monster Hunter is. That's what I like right there.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game, and hopefully they get the PC version.
It's my first one. I'm going to try.
Hopefully it's not doom and gloom on the PC port, because it was fine on console, I heard, as far as the beta goes. It kind of ended before it got too exciting, is what I'm hearing, and I was really hoping that wouldn't be the case. But we are looking forward to it. I guess it's over now. See, this is the part about not having enough time for every single game that comes out because I desperately wanted to buy it.
Yeah,
If it's over now.
It was only 2.5 days weekend only.
And now I don't get to play all the way until February because this thing comes out towards the end of February. But maybe they'll have another.
Fuck you, give me money February.
Yeah,
I don't remember what we called it because February.
Broke. Yeah, something broke. February broke. Fuck, we had a good one. Now we forgot it.
We got some news this week.
So many games in February.
Yeah, lots. Arcane's founder had left the company because Bethesda did not want to do the kind of games that we wanted to make. So according to the founder, Rafael Colantonio, after the launch of Prey in 2017, Bethesda came and said, hey, we want live service games. He's like, well, we don't do that here. I think, are you in the wrong building? And they're like, you're going to do that because we own you. And so he said no, and he left. And so...
Good for him. And I know that's rare in the games industry. A lot of companies will be like, fuck, I've got so many employees that are relying on me. I don't really want to compromise, our creative vision and our energies. And so it is rare.
But sometimes it's not a good corporate fit. We've seen it how many times when BioWare makes a Anthem game and you're like, what are you doing? You guys make single player, like amazing RPGs. Why are you going out into this other space? And so, like,
trying to do the live service thing, like Rocksteady.
Yeah, it's like we see it all the time. It's like these companies aren't built for it. I mean, even the companies that are built for it don't do a good job the vast majority of the time.
Well, at least they came out with that bigger.
Redfall. I mean, that's what it was. They came in, they're like, hey, can you make this Redfall game? This team isn't made for it. They're like, we'll do it anyways. Peace. Now we got some lots of Ubisoft news. So 24-25 half-year results plummet as Star Wars Outlaws underperforms, according to them. Sales.
Yeah, I wasn't really all that excited about playing it. I'm glad that Alex was able to cover it. I got the Ubisoft Play subscription so that I can cover it at some point during the end of the year. Usually we have a little more time in December to wrap up all the best games of the year, all the worst games of the year, and all the most disappointing games of the year. We'll play some of those on stream, so stay tuned as we get closer there where we do a big marathon of a lot of the games that we missed. In case you're upset on some of the ones we missed, hang out with us at the end of the year because we're trying to get to those.
Yeah, they've also said that global headcount has tumbled more than 2,000 employees in that period of time. So things are not looking up, but there is one bright spot. They know it's going to save them. This is perfect. I mean, I think this is how you do it. So Ubisoft has launched their NFT project. It's a brand new game that came out, and it works. It's called Champions Tactics. It looks like a game. And the reason I think it's going to save it, there's a champion in there that you can buy for $63,000. Are you interested in that?
$63,000
US dollars.
What? Is this is an NFT game? Okay, that's why nobody should ever fucking buy that. That fucking.
How much is that
Ubisoft?
most
Wow.
expensive going for now?
So now we know why Ubisoft was pushing so fucking hard for that, so that they can, microtransactions. People are like $25 for a skin. That's absolutely unreasonable. But if it's tied to the blockchain and this is going to be worth something in the future, they can charge. What was it?
$63,000.
$63,000. No wonder people like that were all over that. Dr. Disrespect for the fucking Midnight Society trying to make it like an NFT. It's like, imagine how much thousands of dollars you can make when you kill somebody and take their NFTs.
Yeah. But Joe, you can own your own digital corner of the information that way.
But the first tweet is going for how much?
So you're talking about one of the original apes? No, it was one of the first tweets of all time. It was like 20, and they wanted to sell 20 million, and it was a couple of bucks.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Ubisoft is great at striking when the iron is hot. That's kind of what I was reminded of the old.
I'm just worried, and I don't want them. I laugh at them and I say, "Ha, you're gonna fail horribly," and then I'm gonna spread the word. Nobody fucking played Champion. What is it called?
I'm not gonna tell you, so you can't tell people.
Okay, don't fucking play this game.
Well, I
am
find,
super worried.
Don't I have to find something? So I'm gonna play
Yes,
the
you do.
game.
It's Champion Tactics.
the name.
Is it Champion Tactics?
Baby.
But it's.
Open the wrong
But
game.
I'm scared that one of these. Oh, what the fuck?
4,000?
What is this,
That one's
Joe?
cheap.
Look at this. Savage Trooper, $295 million. Is that what that is? Bro, this is a fucking joke. I'm gonna send this picture
That I'm
to
gonna put over here.
and you can put it.
It's such a steal. I mean, look, if the high-end one's $63,000, you're only
It's
paying
obvious
a couple
nobody would
$100.
ever fucking do this, but the fact that it's there, maybe somebody would do the $100 one. Wow, what a deal! I didn't have to spend $3 million or whatever.
Well,
What did that has to be
That
wrong?
one's only $132.
This one's only $295 million, Joe. Ain't not.
That's not bad. It's not, I mean, it's no.
Oh my God.
I don't want to even pretend that I know what consumers think nowadays, because 10 years ago it's like, you want to spend how much money on a fake spaceship that makes fake space bases, and you're going to pay a company 10 years in advance $500, and then they're going to make a better ship for cheaper later on.
I do have an update on Star Citizen, but considering how mad the Star Citizen faithful got, I can save it for video too because I did more research.
The last time
They were actually really happy with it. Actually, one of the people of the guys that I watched the video to do the research, he actually watched our video and wasn't super negative. He was just like, hey, some of this stuff was. So it was good.
Yeah, you just like, you get the wording on it. It's like, you need to do, because YouTube is fucking great. I mean, there are people who will dedicate their whole lives to making a 15-minute long video, and it's so packed with information. A lot of people fail to realize that video probably took 3 weeks to develop of research and exhaustive understanding, and we have like 15 minutes or 3 hours, to devote to a complex issue like that.
Also, we have to phrase ways to get like fart jokes.
Food.
Yeah, I mean, we have to, we know what you want.
But long story short, I've watched additional videos on Star Citizen, which there are 25 features removed from Star Citizen 4.0. The recent update coming out, they just say, hey everybody, we're removing a bunch of stuff so that we can get this update out. And then another thing, is 1.0 Star Citizen, from my understanding, is completely changing its scope and promise and everything, and it's made people upset. Like, some people want like a NPCs and a directed kind of world that evolves without the player, and the player just kind of is a part of it, and there's factions there. Star Citizen seems to be going in a completely different direction now. The 1.0, which is the players now do everything. The players build everything for us. They do the story for us. They do the economy for us. And while that gives players more agency, I don't see how it's going to work on just 5 planets, because remember when they said 100 planets, not 100 planets anymore. It's not unlimited planets like No Man's Sky, which was a bad idea anyway. But 5 planets, I don't see how it's going to work on 5 planets. It's going to be pure chaos. It's going to be interesting to see what systems they're going to have in there to, prevent abuse, because I see a lot of abuse.
Yeah, I mean, I want an infinitely large perfect space for the game where I get to build my own base and have a corporation do everything at all times.
Yeah.
But I also have to realize that like someone has to design that, and if they continue to stretch up the development time, that game will never be. So like, I'd rather them put out something that tease me forever.
Yeah. But super scatterbrained. Getting back to Champion Tactics, because you put this trailer up there, is, I am very concerned that eventually one of these developers are going to marry a good game with the blockchain and NFTs stuff, because Ubisoft is a bull in a china shop, refusing to let go of development of any of these NFTs. And then, younger, more impressionable people will play it, and they'll be like, wow, man, I played this game when I was young, it was fucking great, this and that. I'm just worried that eventually, because mostly these games are shit.
I don't think it'll be Ubisoft, but I can see Valve getting away with it.
Because that's kind of how the gacha stuff got popular with Genshin Impact and stuff. It's like, wow, Joe, this is an actual good game. It's married, but it has all the gacha tactics in it, and it's like that, and then it proliferates and it makes $1 billion. So I'm just worried that Ubisoft is like, no, fuck it, we're gonna burn through money until we get our Genshin Impact.
They're going to burn through a lot of money. Again, they're doing very poorly, but they're still talks.
Hopefully they burn out before they get a hit on the NFT side. Or when they finally get a hit on the NFT side, we have to...
Well, the only thing that can save them right now is Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe that'll be an NFT game, too.
Don't you fucking
know. Look, I don't have faith that they're going to do anything right. I do think that if anything's going to come forward, but I think the other big thing that happened this week is Dragon Age. The Veilguard came out. We played a lot of it, so check out our stream on Twitch. Look at it. There's a couple issues. One, to a little more minor, one to warn you in a big question, but a lot of benefits side quests. There's a lot of sometimes back I didn't play video game. Hey, before you work on this quest, make sure you take everything that you need to. Wink, and do all the other things. They don't quite do that. And then there's a pretty big difference between the critical reviews and the fan review or player reviews on this game. I mean, pretty wide. So as a read on Metacritic, 80s critics, we are closer to user reviews. Or I'm personally closer to user reviews, but we got a lot more stuff to play. But people are trying to say that it's massively successful because it had a bunch of people playing it. The Steam charts for Veilguard were actually kind of disappointing for a launch that size. It got up into 55,000, 70,000 people a peak, but Baldur's Gate 3, kind of the more recent, big crunchy RPG, crushed them 10 times the number of people in that opening weekend, and it really never surged up the way that people thought. So I don't know how EA is going to think about it, financially speaking, but they still, put in almost 90,000 concurrent users.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know if you can consider it a commercial failure. It's obviously not like a Suicide Squad or a Concord, but the fact that there's going to be no DLC and they're already moving on to Mass Effect does tell me that the project to them is kind of like a red-headed stepchild, and probably because they spend so much more money than they're willing to admit because of going through several iterations of the idea. At first, it was a direct continuation of Inquisition Closer, and then it was a live service, and then now it is whatever the fuck it is right now. Veilguard.
I mean, so we've talked a lot in the news the last couple of years about the development of this. Something that I'm really interested in, because I actually really do enjoy the Dragon Age series, like some really great RPGs. 2015, before Anthem was released, EA went to them and said you need to make Inquisition part the continuation. And so it got 2 years with that as like the planning phase. In 2017, though, EA said I needed to be live service and changed it from Joplin to Morrison. And so from 2017 into 2021, it was a live service game where in a live service game you can't be the hero leading the Inquisition, which is why we are a crappy random soldier guy, and you probably don't control a lot of companions because a live service game we're supposed to be our own companion, like playing with each other.
Yeah.
And so when people are like, hey, this feels kind of like a live service game that got turned into a single player game last minute, it's like, hey, that's what ended up happening.
So I don't know. There are some successes that aren't very good. Like a lot of the Transformer films made a lot of money. Some of the Transformer films were good. Some of them were like garbage good, like popcorn pop. And some of them were bad, but still made a lot of money on the name alone. And it could be that this current Dragon Age Veilguard was always going to make a certain amount of money because it's called Dragon Age. But that's what people have a problem with. It's like, this is a fucking Dragon Age. This is round edges Dragon Age.
Yeah,
this is soft. This is really bad and a talentless writer's Dragon Age with generic combat and generic enemy designs and continuing in a direction that nobody really cared about or
Your
wanted.
ultimate move is so good.
It
You
is.
throw a temper tantrum and you punch the ground.
You'll see this in our review, don't? Okay, but yes. All right, so then, but ultimately the fact that there's going to be no DLC is all of the support that the game is going to get. That should tell you. Okay, we're moving on. We're going to Mass Effect. Now, the meme of the fucking Grim Reaper going into the individual doors and a blood trail out of each one. I am a little worried, saying, now we're not finished reviewing Dragon Age. We don't know what the score is going to be as of right now, but I'm not encouraged. I'm not encouraged if they're taking this exact team, these exact writers, all of it, and bringing it into the Mass Effect universe. If you are, count me out. Or I'm very worried because I don't want them to do the same thing they did to Dragon Age as they do Mass Effect. Because now you're real don't piss me off because I love Dragon Age. I love the Dragon Age games, but the lore for Dragon Age and the different factions, the way the gods work in there, and it was never fully coherent and fascinating for me. I'd much rather engage with Lord of the Rings or something like that kind of universe. How Rings of Power on that or Game of Thrones. So I don't want the same thing to happen to Dragon Age or to Mass Effect. But we'll see. Hopefully they hire completely separate writers and know exactly why Mass Effect was popular and they don't have a title.
I want one guy. I want nine targets on purpose.
Right. We need to use them, so please. It's like Microsoft made jokes about Craig, was it? The fucking brute? Yeah, maybe there'll be one Easter egg in Mass Effect. Somebody in the corner next to a drama this time.
Alright, that's what I got.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys. So a lot there. Thank you for your patience and understanding. We always want to have an open, honest dialogue with you, transparent dialogue. So give us some feedback. Tell us your thoughts down in the comments below with regards to that situation. And please stay tuned because Black Ops 6 Angry Review this week, and we're already working on Dragon Age, so I guess that the Dragon Age review is coming after that. And a few more exciting games before the end of the year. Soccer and Indiana Jones. We're looking forward to a lot of these actually interesting VR games that I'm kind of excited about. Metro, Aliens. So we'll probably cover some of that. Superman. Superman VR. I've always said that GoPro videos called Superman GoPro. Look it up on YouTube.
Kissing women they forget.
No, that's not Superman's power. Oh, and throwing shields.
It is power. I saw the movie. And Bill Cosby was on the wall.
Oh, and building bricks by his eyes.
Wait, that's so
He can remold his face.
That's so weird that happened though.
Yeah. What?
The Bill Cosby and kissing scene, like in the same room.
Yeah. Wait, in the Superman movie where he talks about kissing people to make them forget, just all of a sudden there's just a picture of Bill Cosby on the wall.
For no reason?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird.
It's predictive. That's it.
Superman also predicted the
future. All right. Weird as hell tangent. Thank you so much, and we will see you on Evan. Don't put it up, guys. It's up to you. We'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.
positivo naman. Positivo na dali.
Going on in gaming news.
Lionsgate, our favorite movie studio, is going to bring Outlast to the Outlast universe to be big screen. I don't know, some people are excited about it.
Which one?
Outlast.
First one?
Yeah.
To make Outlast movies? Dude, me and Joe played one Outlast. We liked it a lot. So hopefully they focus in on that. Maybe an underground. The sets would be real easy. You do an underground base that was working on some weird shit, and then shit goes wrong. Yeah, and you have to get inside a locker of some bit.
Yeah, so I think I really liked the first one. That was Outlast. Yeah, Outlast 1 in 2013. I like that one. So,
Pretty good horror movie.
we've seen a lot of video games get turned into movies, some that we just don't understand why. Hey, remember when Battleship got a movie? I know it's a video game, but remember when
Battleship.
This doesn't feel exactly like
Man,
that. Yeah.
Rihanna, I forgot about that.
Holy shit, that was Rihanna.
Yeah. So this one I think has got better bones because horror works really well. They
Yes.
make it for cheap, and they actually do very well. Even average horror movies make really good money based on the budget. So that is coming. In other news, Russia has fined Google a lot of money. It's 2500000000000000000, and then 12 more zeros. But that's actually more money than exists on Earth. And it's because Russia is mad about YouTube channels.
Oh, okay.
Because those goddamn YouTubers.
They do not expect to collect this money. This is hilarious. They're a joke. They make themselves look like a joke, and it's fucking
How
stupid.
would we meet in the middle?
No.
How
about you fuck off?
How would you give me $10 then?
Okay, then
Yeah,
give you
Google
$10
would,
to go away. Google give you $10.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's more than the World Bank estimates that we have on Earth. So
That's hilarious. Okay, well, I guess Russia is just trying to make sure that Google never operates in Russia ever again because they're like, oh, well, you're back? Okay, well, pay us the fine. It's like, what? The fine is a joke. You're a joke.
Yeah, you
Stop
are
it.
a joke. And this is all because YouTube blocks some Russian channels, so like pro-Kremlin propaganda channels. And they're like, no, this can't be on here. And so
How do they calculate it? For every hour you block our channel, we charge you $2 million?
He just had a little swirling chair. He turned to the camera. 1 billion gazillion
Billion
dollars.
gazillion
It's like, what?
I think more than that, though.
It is. I don't know exactly what you would call that, though.
All of the money on Earth. I want you to give me all of the money on
All
Earth.
of the money. It's like, sir, we can't do that.
Yeah. So it's silly, but
It is.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, In bad news, Path of Exile 2 Early Access has been delayed 3 weeks. It's a game I'm really looking forward to playing. Was supposed to come out this month, got pushed into December. And
I'm fine with it. Anything related to trying to make sure the game is ready for launch, at launch, is always good.
And then one of the things they want to make sure they said is all of the microtransactions you purchase in Path of Exile 1 will transfer over to Path of Exile 2. And making sure that, with the caveat that, like, look, if you bought a Halloween 2019 thing and it's not Halloween, that's not going to transfer. The stash tabs and things like that are going to transfer over, and they just have to have some time to figure all that stuff out. So, give them a couple weeks, the game will come out, and then I'll get to lose all my time to that game.
In my opinion, was bad. Yeah, that's great. That's very positive, but I also think the Halloween thing should transfer as well.
Yeah.
It's just digital. Yeah. Digital skins. I should be able to wear whatever I want to wear because I bought it.
This week we got leadership changes for Wolverine and Perfect Dark, both games. So Marcus Smith is going to replace Brian Horton as creative director on Wolverine, and Horton is moving to Xbox to head up Perfect Dark. These are both games. I think Wolverine, I actually may be more excited about that
Perfect Dark.
than Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
I love the original Perfect Dark.
Me too.
Laptop gun and like the playing multiplayer was so fun, but I am itching to play a good Wolverine game too.
Yes, the early Wolverine footage that they showed off was a story, big controversy because it was shit. But the game is like still in development, and we're talking early development, at that point. So I don't put any stock in what was leaked, and I am interested in the Wolverine game. But that's very sensitive because you have to have Wolverine shish kebabbing people. You have to get the claw gameplay right and dismemberment right. But then when you put in dismemberment, it does look kind of familiar. It does look kind of ragdollish and hilarious sometimes. You can actually think about it. Plus the ESRB will go crazy with it. I'm curious what their solution is, and if they find that, then find it.
I just don't want it to be human-sized sentinels. They have little sparks coming out of their arms, and everyone.
Unfortunately, that's what it's going to be. At least a portion of it, because you have to have a wide variety of enemies, and robots are always going to go against the instrument. Always.
They could do something, but they have that. But actually, what I really want is like the Adams Family. They're slicing off things and they start shooting blood, like super soakers all over everything. Like that's what I'm looking for.
But yeah, I wanted stuff like that. Obviously, Star Wars, lightsabers. They don't have any arms. You know, Philip Wolverine doesn't have any arms.
Oh, like something like blocking you or something. Oh, they're gonna be adamantium plated and sand over.
I'm curious which one will end up better, Wolverine or Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
I think it's tapped on both of these.
But you have to
compare them against each other.
Hey, we got to realize I'm going to
That's slapped in the face.
Well,
that's what man. I mean, like, I give it up. You don't give a fuck.
It's like if you're a Cowboys fan. It's like you
I gave up.
You're just like,
I gave up.
All right, well, in 2025, there's going to be a new Superman movie, so hopefully we'll get a new No, because these games take 3-5 years if you want to do it right, and we've not heard a peep about anything. So if anything, we're going to get a shitty mobile game, and that's
yeah, or worse, the DC League of Super Pets Part 2.
I think that's what Rocksteady is working on, right? Another Batman game. Go back to the roots.
Another Batman.
I would have took Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, last round. Very excited. This week, EA CEO was pushed back against the idea of Apex 2.0. This was in a call with investors that were like, hey, you have super low player engagement. You're not making the amount of money that you're making before. Is it time to start looking at what's next, maybe Apex Part 2? And Wilson said no. He said it's a really good question, probably beyond the scope of this conversation. But what I would say is typically what we've seen in the context of live service or gaming scale is the version 2 thing has almost never been as successful as the version 1. And I think a lot of that comes with, I brought up Path of Exile 2 for a reason in this one, is because PoE 2 is kind of a new thing, but also transferred over multiple purchases. And so I think a lot of the time people like, get all later Part 2, but I'm buying all the microtransactions for Part 1, and then you make buy Part 2 with a meaningful upgrade. And so you can do Part 2 well, you just have to upgrade the system to bring all those things forward, but that's not the end. There's not one. Apex Legends 2, he also doesn't want you playing on anything Linux, because Apex has been removed. They blocked entirely the Linux operating system access to Apex Legends, including the Steam Deck. So that's the small part. Still learning to play with
That sucks. From a player standpoint, that's anti-consumer, I think, because they don't want to do it because they're not going to make as much money. They don't want to evolve the game because they're not going to make as much money. I think that's bullshit. Why can't you be the first one to do it that makes more money, that is more successful than the initial Apex? And plus, I'm already fucking salty that we'll never get another Titanfall because Apex was so successful. So he is like, well, we're not going back to a Titanfall because it'll make us, 50 million instead of 300 million. We're not going to do a Titanfall 3. So fuck them.
Every Apex has made over $8 billion in microtransactions in its lifetime. There's plenty of money in the pot to make for more development. They just don't.
That's just telling me that you're not going to do a Titanfall 3. If you're sure as hell not going to do an Apex 2, you're sure as hell not going to do a Titanfall 3. Unless, the only way an Apex 2 would happen is if they did a Titanfall 3 as a little small piece of meat towards the fans, and they do it on EA Originals, and they're hilarious. It's just like, it's no longer prime time. It's just a side project to get people to shut up, and then they do an Apex 2 type event based on what was in Titanfall.
I mean, they sell color swaps, is what most of their stuff.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, this gun, you like this gun? Yeah, dude. It's like, well, now it's more. Give me $8. Well, you're making that kind of money on basic ass color swaps.
Well, what is the future of Apex? They're basically just telling you it's more of the same.
They're gonna let it die. They're gonna let it until it dies, and then move on to something else, I guess.
Yeah, I guess a new IP, or I guess at then they'll have to re-examine our initial strategy with Apex, and we decided that the best thing for the game would be Badass 2.0,
where we release like all the microtransactions.
And it's not really a 2.0, it's more like Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 1.5. Oh, metallic blue costs a lot more than matte blue. Yeah.
Everybody knows that the pixels, they have far more expensive pixelation, premium pixelation, so it costs more. It costs developers more to add sheen to blue instead of just normal blue. So we have fucking shiny blue. $73. That's good. What about translucent?
Oh, you've seen the inside of my game too.
All right, next story, Alex.
Microsoft gaming revenue is up 43% year on year due to the Activision acquisition. So things are going well, and they paid an absurd amount of money. It's going to take them a decade, if not many more to. But things are going well for them. So revenues, net income, everything is doing better. And the Call of Duty.
I imagine the subscriptions. What they really want to see is in a month or two's time, we'll get some reports. Hopefully, it'll be out in public. I know Microsoft doesn't like all this stuff being out in public because people can make fucking investment decisions and other decisions related to that. But I am curious if this gamble paid off. Putting Call of Duty up on the Game Pass rather than having those people pay $70 up front to Microsoft. Yet now you can spend between $10 and $20 for a subscription and get it.
Yeah. So during Microsoft's earnings calls, the CEO revealed that the game broke records for day one players and Game Pass subscribers.
Okay.
And so
it broke records. They didn't tell us if it's 1.5 times or 2 times subscriptions or 3 times or a massive success of 7 times the amount of subscriptions. I don't know. Because they already have a lot of subscribers on it.
Yeah, so they're doing very well. This actually also has pushed Black Ops or Call of Duty in mobile to
34 million. PC, cloud, and console. 34 million.
That's pretty good. I think $2 a month.
This is as of February 2024, which was a 36% increase from 25 million reported in January 2022. So I would think that they would want to see another 36% increase by 2026, and then I think that'll happen. So we don't think that'll happen. So I think they'll consider it a success if they get that 34 million to 45 million.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine how great it would have been if Starfield had been dumpster fire and all these other things that they've been banking on since they purchased. I think Fallout's their first. So it's like these other live service games we want people on Game Pass more. Call of Duty has now surpassed 500 million total copies in the franchise sold, leading now second to just Mario-based games in all-time sales. So things are looking better for Microsoft since they bought Activision.
I thought there wasn't there a news story that Black Ops 6 was selling a lot even outside of Game Pass.
Oh, doing well.
Records outside of Game Pass still? That's what's even crazier. Can you tell me about it, or you don't know?
They didn't give a specific thing, but it's in addition to on Game Pass, it's doing very, very well on PlayStation. But also unit sales on PlayStation and Steam increased by 60% year over year. But that's through last year's Call of Duty was kind of poor, but 60% increase on PlayStation is pretty good.
This is why we both have 2 laptops, so we can support each other. Michael Patchter, you know that guy that's been in the industry forever. I'm familiar with his name if you aren't. He believes that putting Call of Duty on Game Pass could result in 6 million lost sales, based on the idea that 25% of Game Pass subscribers may have bought the game anyway. However, he adds the move could result in 3 to 4 million people signing up for Game Pass to access the title. So those are some actual analysts, some pretty good analyst predictions on what that. So are they okay with 6 million lost sales on the Game Pass for 3 to 4 million people signing up?
Yeah.
Which would bring that up to about 40 million, and then I think with another year's time, 45 million is possible.
Because you only be on Game Pass for 4 months before they're making more money, and people forget. I mean, that's the, what you're talking about. I mean, there's people in this room right now that had Ubisoft Plus for months and that need to have Ubisoft Plus. I've let it ride one additional month too, just because sometimes you forget, and then it's just, that stuff happens. I think they're just banking on people signing up and then forgetting that it's there.
And remember, they removed the 14-day $1 trial offer, that was an indication that Microsoft needs to maximize its subscription revenue. We have chief game analyst Piers Harding-Rolls, and he's a little more conservative. He believes that Call of Duty would result in a 10% increase in Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. And I think we're talking about Game Pass Ultimate only because he says not all of those will be completely new users, as it will include those upgrading from Game Pass Core to Game Pass Standard. So that's good information, because Call of Duty will only be available in that Ultimate tier. So never mind about $10. That's 10 to 20. No, you're up 12, 13 to 20.
Right. Also this week, Sony finally did it, and they have shut down Firewalk Studios, which is the studios that develop Concord. So the game was already shut down.
Huge news!
Yeah, and so the game was already shut down, removed. There was talks of the game back,
as a free-to-play title to try to earn a little bit more money back.
Yeah, exactly. But they said that they completely shut it down, and they're evaluating our game portfolio and satisfying projects to ensure we are meeting near and long-term business priorities. It was making a difficult decision to close Neon Void and Firewalk Studios. They did not say that they're going to try to keep some of their staff. They used the word some, and so they're going to keep that place. So we're going to try to keep some of the people. We will work to find places for some of those impacts where possible. So this is a closing of a full project. A lot of these people are.
Well, with that's a critically huge story, because with that would probably make Concord the biggest video game failure of all time. If some of the numbers are true, it's already at 200 million, but there was all these rumors that it was another 200 million, so potentially 400 million. It would be one of the biggest video game failures of all time. In fact, I was doing research for potential top 10 biggest video game failures. So what else would be? E.T. is on there as a nostalgia pick, because it was quite as much money. It actually made sales before they started destroying copies. But other ones could be, the day before, Lawbreakers, Babylon's Fall, if you remember that. I think you can consider Suicide Squad.
The Avengers, I think, well, they did very poorly.
No, I think Avengers wouldn't be in the top 10 biggest failures. It would probably be considered a failure, but
Sega in the late 90s.
No, there's a lot of failures in video game, Joe, so I don't think it would have hit any list. It just didn't hit expectations. But maybe, because they wanted to go big with that Avengers and have it be one of their premium live services, and now it's not.
Hyenas, because it truly just cost $100 million. It's a $100 million loss.
Yeah, I remember they don't have Hyenas, but because these are ones that have come out.
There's going to be an episode on Amazon.
Don't worry on whether they're removing the episode, so it is going to be even more awkward to watch it now, knowing that there is nothing coming. There is no free-to-play title after in December. There is probably nothing in 2025. That's just fucking wild to me. Honestly, I was kind of looking forward to seeing what they would do in the free-to-play. How would they monetize it? Would it look worse? Would they completely change the style and try to make better, more appealing characters? I was kind of looking forward to seeing. I was morbidly curious about that redemption arc, but now we're not going to get it. I don't think so, because if you close the whole studio down and you start moving people out,
Unless they are going to give it to a team of 12 people and say, hey man, give it to
we
me.
made this new studio just for this purpose. And
Skeleton Crew run the things. No videos, no lore things, just live services.
yeah, no, maybe they're doing it as a write-off, tax write-off, but I'm not sure how. If it was released, you were selling physical copies, and it was just a failure. I don't know how. You have to talk to the tax guy.
Physical copy worth money? I don't think so. Anthem still has physical copies. They're not worth anything. I have one of them.
They're going to go the way of ET. They're all going to get up in one dump and destroy. From existence.
Probably you live with wild moose. Trample everything.
Moose is Alex's dump.
Yeah. Bit on Anthem. They told me on set that he's into this gift. Everyone can have this. The very first thing that Moose did.
There's so many copies of Sonic 3 right when I go to conventions. We both give them free there.
Yes. Alright, that's what I got here.
Alright, yeah, I don't really have anything to add there. So yeah, check out our first video. We've got a lot coming towards the end of the year, so stay tuned, stick with us. Thank you so much for your patience as we have a blow, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.
Hello? Sige. Meron kayo panawag, sir. Pwede lang. Mamalihok sa kuwabi na ako ipatid sa ubos karon, naana siya karon. Ibutang lang sa kong lamisa. Bayad na to. Salamat.
Gusto namin magkanta nga? Para sa pag... Because aki lang kayo, punta lang. Gusto ko. Ito lang ako. Dala kasi dito ang kala ng
we are headed into what will likely be the biggest year in gaming in over a decade in terms of like revenues in single player games. I don't know about the mobile market, that's where most of the money goes, but in terms of like console games and PC games, this coming year is going to be huge. There's going to be a ton. So right now there's also some things that have not been announced that people are hearing rumblings about that very well could end up seeing the light of day. And if they do, well, maybe it might get pushed to 2026, but either way, next year's going to be insane. And with that are going to come crazy levels of delusion. Hype, I think, will be a big problem for some of these games. And I like to pull up a clip from E3 2015 to just demonstrate with perfect 2020 hindsight why hype can be so dangerous, okay, and what it can do to people. We talked a lot about this clip we'll look at when we were discussing Starfield and when that game's launch, so some of you guys may recognize it. But when people tie themselves to certain game releases, to certain consoles, to certain companies, it can make them sound like dangerously unstable, even though they are otherwise very well-adjusted people and very nice, kind, hardworking people. It can break your brain. It's why we sell on LucyTV.com, we sell the hype makes you stupid shirt, because I think it's accurate. Like a lot of the time, hype can twist your perception of reality. People say some of the same things and justify some things as well. You're really hyped for X game, and then it starts showing up that it's not super polished, there's some weird design choices here. You'll start to convey something like, no, it's not fine, it doesn't matter, because you just want to stay hyped about it. At the same time, though, I want to be clear before we get into this that my disdain for hype, it's not mean you can't be excited, and this is where perhaps definitions come into it. Being excited for a game is fine. That to me is tied to like intrigue and interest. That's totally fine. You can be intrigued or interested in a game, excited for a game. That doesn't mean you're hyped. Hype is when you are so down the rabbit hole that you begin speculating about stuff. You begin watching like those speculation videos on what's Elder Scrolls 6 going to have. I heard it's going to have this or that, or the GTA 6 stuff. Actually, it has full closed circuit TV cameras. Or the one guy I saw that was saying it's going to have a whole paternity system. So if you go to a strip club, you can sleep with a stripper. And if she gets pregnant, the DNA test that tracks the player's DNA could have you found responsible for the baby. And so then you'll have to pay your baby mama alimony out of your in-game currency collections. And it's like, I think we're getting silly. I think we're too far down the rabbit hole. Okay, that's the kind of hype we're talking about when people just get so obsessed with one thing that they like lose their mind. You see it usually once or twice a year where there is just la 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 la, they stick their fingers in their ears and they're not willing to entertain any feedback, critical or otherwise. Unless you agree with them, you're a hater. That's what we want to avoid, and that's what we push to call out. And this clip I'm going to show you is from E3 2015. You will think that it's a skit. You will think that this is fake. It is not, okay? These are real human beings. Some of them still work in the industry today, others have left that we'll talk about. But you're about to see somebody who is so deeply hyped for what was at the time an upcoming, very hype game, No Man's Sky. And you're about to see what happens when you give your brain over to hype. It will rot out any critical thinking, and it will make you emotionally unstable, okay? Are you ready for this? Take it in. This is from a panel for Games Trailers Live, GT Live. And these are for games journalists, okay? To set the scene. This is from E3 2015. This is after a series of showcases where Sean Murray, the guy at Hello Games, he was showcasing the game on stage and describing how amazing and epic it was going to be. This is when the hype really started to build. The game wouldn't come out until the year following, but this is when it was really reaching a fever pitch. People were starting to really get out of control hype. The people here, man on the far left, this guy is kind of the play it straight games journalist. This is the guy I would consider a friend. I don't know him. I don't remember his name. But if I did know him, this would be my dude, okay? You'll hear him keep a level head and look at things very, very, very critically, and I think fairly, okay? The man next to him is a guy named Ben Moore, okay? Pay close attention to him. He is the one that will eventually do the review for the game. He's the one that will eventually cover the game in a lot of detail, but he is our subject. He is the one that is hyped. And then these two guys over here, I think this guy is more just like ambivalent, he doesn't really care. And then this guy is gonna like troll Ben without Ben realizing because he thinks he's green, but he's actually kind of making fun of him. So let's get into it.
I'm trying to think about that. I was trying to think like if video games could just be things where you go to think about that in silence or in stress play. I'm gonna let you do that. I'm sorry. That's actually a really good question. I respect it. Today's been full of really good questions. You're no shortage for quips, for intelligent responses, for careful analysis, for pointed questions. We're good.
A little bit more context. There were people behind the scenes that were confused by the hype that No Man's Sky had. People did not understand, some people did not understand why people were so hyped. Because at this time, they had shown the same planets 15 times. They had shown the same areas a bunch. And they were making all these promises, but there was one thing missing, which was, what do you do? What makes this fun? How is this a game? And it was something they could never really answer, which should be like the biggest of all red flags. You know, it was even a problem with Starfield when Todd said in an interview, they didn't find the fun until like 2021. They designed the game for years and still didn't know how to make it fun until they got to that point. They didn't start with a fun idea. They started with this idea that they want to make this big epic space whatever game. They're like, we'll figure out how to make it enjoyable as a video game later. I'm not sure if they succeeded, but yeah, it's still an answer to this day. But that is something that some people were aware of, and these are this is kind of what he's beginning to troll with, which is that there are questions to be asked, but not many people want to answer them. So let's get into it. That's kind of what he's setting the stage for.
2 more days. All right, here we go. Okay, all right, professional.
2015 game coverage.
Dandy for this one. It is. I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is. Okay, here we go.
They know that.
Bring us home, Ben. Okay, bring us.
They know Ben is like hardcore hyped for this game, and so they know that this is potentially going to be contentious when they confront him over it.
All right, this is the one. This is the one I want information about the most, more than any other game of how it feels, how it plays. No, I want information. I want facts. Okay. So I imagine you two guys like detectives. Okay, you're going to E3. You'll understand for this more pumped. We need information about this. So, okay, we're excited about this game, but I'm nervous about this. We're like, oh, you're not excited about it. I want to hear good news. I need the hook. I need the thing of No Man's Sky. I need to know. Okay, getting this galaxy, great. But I can go to the planet. I'm selling flowers. Somewhere else. What's happening in this game? Tell us more.
Great question. This is a video game. What do you do? How is it fun? Seems like a fair question. an important question. Because at the end of the day, these are video games. These are supposed to be fun things you do for fun. Or to experience some story or piece of art. There's got to be some hook there. There has to be a hook. And with a lot of these games, it's super hyped. You'll notice often there's not a clear hook. You know, there's some process. There's not a lot of specifics. It's all very vague and ambiguous. And, it's going to be you create your own hook. You create your own story. And that's about it.
Sean Murray, not like you. He wouldn't like you. All right.
I'm going to rewind this. Because this is a line, unironically spoken as far as I can tell, that sounds similar to what a religious zealot would say when you question faith. She just wouldn't like you. The language of indoctrination to a certain extent, where the first thing he says is Sean Murray wouldn't like you. As if that's supposed to put him in line, as if that's supposed to put him in check. That he wouldn't like you, therefore you must be wrong, because he can't be wrong. That's not how this works. He's a dude making a video game that ended up being pretty bad at launch. He's just a dude, but you've connected something deep and pushed him into this state where he's bigger than a human being. The language where he's saying, this woman asked this question, and I could tell Sean just wanted to shake her and explain to her, but he didn't. He said, I have to give you infinite possibilities. It's not about me telling you what to do. It's the same language somebody will give when they're describing the leader of their particular religious pursuit. It's bizarre, is it not? It's crazy. And this is not just a video game industry thing. This happens across comic books, movies. You see people talking about musicians. Have you ever seen like those old videos of like Michael Jackson with fans? Like the way that some people would act with him on stage was insane. Like he's literally just a dude singing, and the way people would react to him, sobbing and crying, was crazy. Trying to break on stage, trying to, like, they're just sobbing, getting the chance to meet him and stuff. Like he's just a dude singing. Yeah, it's Michael Jackson, but like he's just a musician. But they've taken a role like beyond human. It's a bizarre phenomenon, but some people do this with people that they like idolize, and it's weird to see it in the context of video games, where it's a game designer like nerd who's programming a video game, but people do it across industries, across the human experience. It's a very common thing. It's bizarre.
Do it or don't. Sean Murray is no point. You are trying to get to the center of the galaxy. Do it or don't. Sean Murray doesn't care at all. He says the most popular way people have played his game is what they've done is they've found valuable resources like fuel, which is one of the most valuable. They've bought it for a really cheap price in one system. They've flown to another system, figured out that they could sell it for a super high price, and they've done that for dozens of hours. They've just been traders, right? But they don't pick the trader class. They organically figure out that this is something that's exciting to them. This is how they want to play the game.
Right, but right here at this Just Play, it's the first time I've ever heard the word trading. Like, you can trade.
Yeah, there's classes in it? There's no classes. It's just those people, that's what they
Can you be a monster? Who are you trading with? Can you go to different planets and like hunt monsters and get their skins?
You can be okay. So here was something that shocked me about No Man's Sky. Okay, so he's running around and there's this creature. It kind of looks like a ram, but it's purple. That's the best way I can describe it.
Sure,
I'm
purple
sorry.
ram. Okay.
And he has his laser gun, which he can use to mine, but he can also use to shoot things. He shot the ram. Okay, all of a sudden there's a wanted level. I'm not kidding. That's what he called it, a wanted level. Space police came and they started.
Because you can't kill that rhino.
Right.
Yeah.
And they started attacking him.
Yeah.
And then he shot back, and then the wanted level increased. And then this battle cruiser came in and was like, "No, you can't do that here."
The battle cruisers, I'm pretty sure we're not in the game of launching either, which also makes this sad. It's this. I don't know if it's just because I had one pastor when I was like a kid that talked in this same way, where he would start and get really loud, and then you'd shoot it, and then the police would come, but you can't. You'd go from really, really loud. You can do all these things. You can fly your ship around all these planets. You can look for things to do. You can trade fuel that's extremely valuable. You can go and hunt these monsters. But at the end of the day, you have to choose what you do. So I don't know if it's just that I had a pastor that did that, which is why, to me, this is like being in church again, hearing somebody, instead of preach like the gospel preaching, No Man's Sky, but it's really bizarre.
He was so cagey about getting into the specifics. So again, speculation. But what it seemed like and what Sean Murray implied is that you don't know what you will encounter on different planets. And I felt for him. And I knew why he was so frustrated about answering what is the point. Because he legitimately, every single time he went to a new planet, he said, I don't know what's going to be here. There might be a police force that will come and reprimand you for doing these things.
Just watch his face. He is trying to figure out how the hell to even have a conversation about this, because he can see this is too far. Like, he's too far gone into the sauce. I will say this story does have, as far as I can tell, a happy ending. So don't think that this is just like, uh-oh, woe is me. Like, we'll talk about kind of the aftermath of this in a minute, but I want you to watch this guy because he's just trying to figure out how the hell to figure this out.
There might not be. There might be nothing. You might land on the planet and there's no life at all.
But at the same time, what you're talking about, like what you're saying, where you're like, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything in Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. You don't have to do anything in Grand Theft Auto 5.
No,
you don't have to do anything in Ghost Recon Wildlands. You don't have to do anything in Super Mario.
But it's different.
You can't, because there is this road.
That's the center of the universe.
You know what I mean?
And you get to the center of the universe. Right. That is your kind of carrot on the stick.
On stage and demos this game, he doesn't say, I don't care what you do, you can do whatever the heck you want.
What if
He's getting so agitated, he's basically pacing in place. He's taking his headphones off. He doesn't, like, this is an emotionally charged conversation. This is crazy.
Kind of carrot on the stick. On stage and demos this game, he doesn't say, I don't care what you do, you can do whatever the heck you want.
What if Mario had no enemies?
Yes, okay. No.
See, he's trolling. He's trolling so hard.
There's a difference between not pushing any buttons in Super Mario and wandering around in Minecraft, right? There's a difference. You might call, some person in the world might call both of those things doing absolutely nothing.
Right.
But that's not true, right? In Minecraft, what excites me the most is I'll just start digging holes, man. I don't care.
Absolutely.
The minute I spawn, I'll just start digging holes. Yeah. Like, here we go. And the only thing that I want, right, this is why I buy so many packs of Hearthstone, I just want to find diamonds. When I find them, you know what I do? I log out of Minecraft. I'm like, oh, I got my diamonds, and I'm done. That's not how anyone else plays Minecraft. And that's it. Like, that's when No Man's Sky crystallized for me, is he doesn't want to give you a list of classes. He doesn't want to give you stats. And I know some people out there need that. I understand. This is not the game for you. It's just not.
Can you dig? But I like Minecraft. I dearly love Minecraft. I have had a resurgence of Minecraft like 5 times, where I will put the game down and it's like, oh, I gotta just get back in there. But to me, Minecraft, when they sold, the first time I played Minecraft, I was like, got it. This is a game where I can do whatever the heck I want.
That's what this is.
But it feels like that is not the way he has been selling it. He has not sold this game. We're just like, it's just a fun game, because Sony's like, go out on stage. He's like, oh crap, maybe I can't say that. Maybe I can't sell the game this way and be really carefree and loose about it. He's like, oh, whatever, you can just do whatever you want. There's no rules. He's like, I gotta sell it as more of a standard experience than that. And so we've gotten the same demo 3 times where you're like, okay, right, you're pulling out their stuff.
He's questioning the teachings of Lord Murray. And you can see this is a sin that will not be tolerated. I mean, again, watch the second he brings up that they've done the demo 3 times. The same demo. Anybody that is looking at this critically would say, this is a game where you say that there's like a galaxy worth of planets. We've seen the same one like 3 times.
Standard experience.
Watch his face.
And so we've gotten the same demo 3 times where you're like, okay, right, you're pulling out their start, I got it. And he's just like, I can go to this planet and like shoot stuff and stuff. And it just, here's the thing, you say you have infinite possibilities. Like, there's infinite things you can do. There's not.
think there's infinite.
You can fly here, you can land, then you can take off again and go somewhere else and land. And you can step out.
You can say that about any game.
But
GTA, you get in the
right?
car,
And you have an inventory, and objects go in, and then you can take them other places. That's like 8 possibilities. There are variants of how right? There are variants of how those possibilities play out. There's like if I shoot things, I don't know if guys are going to show up, but I still just shot something and waited. You know, it's like in Minecraft, I can build a ladder, I can build a torch, I can build that ladder down to a train track.
But it's new planets,
I can get in a train
and it's
track.
new life. You build spaceships. You build new spaceships.
Yeah, just show me building a spaceship.
He's telling you build spaceships.
You're going out on stage for the 4th demo of No Man's Sky, and you're not going to build a spaceship. You're going to do the
experience. He can't show you 30 minutes.
Honestly, I think you're right. And there was an anguish that I saw in Sean Murray.
There was an anguish I saw in Sean. Who talks like this? Can you imagine, like, listening to somebody talk about Starfield? They're like, and I saw an anguish on Todd's face, a desire to share the good news of the settled systems. But yea, verily I say to you, ye of little faith, ye of few fish bowls of exploration, you shall be punished. Like, it's crazy. People don't talk like this without some filter through which their perception's been twisted. And I think it is the bizarre hype and idolization of a video game designer
that I wish you could have been there to see. I felt the same way as you, and even as he was doing the gameplay demonstration, I was like, this looks a lot like the trailers. When are we going to see new things? But what the sense that I got is that man would rather die than show you what is out there to discover.
And the thing is, I'm not passionate.
Remember Poe's Law? You can't tell the difference between a troll making fun of an extreme position and the actual extreme position. Just listen to that sentence again.
What the sense that I got is that man would rather die than show you what is out there to discover.
And the thing is, I'm not passionate about this game because I'm sensing a game I don't care about. Then I don't care. Then we have an 8-minute just played and we're done and we move on.
Yeah,
want to discover this universe?
Like there's something exciting about going to a planet, and you are the first person in the world to see this creature. Maybe you can't, build a ladder out of it. Okay, Brendan Jones, I can't make a ladder out of this little bug that I found.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I was the first person to do it. That is a story that I could come in and I could say, you've never seen this planet, you will never see this planet because it's so huge. And I saw it, and I get to describe it to you. That's what exploration is. That's what adventure
the
is.
hell knows what is going to be in the center of the universe? That you say there's no point. How many of us in this room are even going to make it to the center of the universe?
Right.
And what the hell is there?
I'm making it.
You manage
I'm going to be there.
So you know what?
The credits.
You
The
can
end
have
credits.
your ladders. We're better off
He
with
says, thank you for playing. But the point being,
There's a knock at
you
your
just
door.
Said,
Yeah.
You just said you can build a ship, but dude, never, like, how do you literally, is
Yeah,
it like
but-
a currency
but-
thing? Where
but-
like, if you want to upgrade your ship, you need 400 things.
But that's the,
so I get 400 things and then I
I
just buy
can't
it?
tell if you're just trying to make a discussion or if you're really this dead
I
inside.
want to know.
If you're this dead inside. This is why, honestly, like, it can be hard to maintain a skeptical outlook on stuff, to not just buy into whatever the next crazy hype thing is. Because people have this reaction where, like, you're just dead inside. You don't want to have fun. Because it is kind of fun to be hyped about stuff. We've all been there. We get hyped about all sorts of stuff. I got super hyped for, like, Fallout 4 back in the day and got burned. I think we all have gotten hyped for, like, Red Dead 2, and ended up being really, really good in that case. But hype is fun. No doubt. Because you let your mind wander and go crazy, and then sometimes they even meet your expectations or exceed them. But it also is fertile ground from which con men, charlatans, or fools that got over their heads, in the case of Sean Murray, I think. I don't think he was doing anything necessarily maliciously. I think he just got in too deep with Sony and couldn't find his way out to deliver the actual product that he had at that point promised. But it's fertile ground from which those people can pluck suckers to buy and take advantage of. And it's unfortunate that so many people can fall into this trap, but you see it all of the time. When are you adding Lord Murray to the candle set? I think we need to do it ASAP.
No. And people get frustrated when you ask about details. They're like,
Yeah, people get frustrated. They say you're dead inside. They get frustrated when you ask details. All of this applied directly to the Starfield discussions we had before launch. People were saying Todd knows what he's doing. You need to trust Todd. People were saying Todd would not have it so you just walk around on planets. He's going to have vehicles in the game that are a surprise at launch. You'll load into the game and there'll be rovers for you. They're just not saying it because they want it to be a surprise. The people were just making stuff up to try and defend their Lord and Savior. Like, it's craziness.
want to know. And
We've seen
people get
credits.
frustrated when you ask about details.
But-
You're like,
but the
hey,
way
hey,
there's-
you want details about this game? Don't you want to
I
explore?
get it.
It's like,
I get it.
Yeah, I want to explore.
I get it.
Yeah,
Brandon,
what do you?
but no, you
what do
have
diamonds
no,
in
no.
Minecraft.
This is the thing.
They
This
put
is
their weapons out.
this is what separates. No, this is the thing that separates the people that are going to be into No Man's Sky versus the people that aren't. Like that's what it comes down to. You have to be okay with not knowing. You have to be able to boot up.
Remember what I said about like the faith parody? Yeah, you want to know if this is true? Well, you can't. You have to be okay with not knowing for sure. You have to have faith that it'll work out, that it's worth playing, that there's good stuff at the end of the galaxy.
No Man's Sky, and you have to be comfortable with yourself, the money that you're spending on this game, and the time that you're committing to it, where you're like, yeah, I don't know what I do. Are you okay with that feeling or not?
I'm okay with.
Are you okay with that feeling or not? So this goes on for another 10 minutes. I encourage you to watch it if you have the strength, because it's kind of crazy. And this individual, Ben Moore, did end up doing the review. You can see Brandon was so goddamn right. The guy was right all along. Yeah, people called him irrational for asking a rational question, a question that gets answered 99% of the game and all other games, including Minecraft. This video is a perfect demonstration of the difference between a journalist and somebody who thinks they're a journalist. People were pretty hard on the dude about it, understandably so, because this isn't journalism. You know, this is hypium. This is something different. Even for a just regular gamer, this type of behavior would be worrisome, frankly. Let's see, the guy's name is Ben Moore. He created video game related content for the New York Post for over a year. In 2013, he became a member of Game Trailers until its closure in 2016, so just a year after this whole thing. In 2022, though, after he left Game Trailers, he worked with Easy Allies, but in 2022, he announced he was leaving Easy Allies because his wife got a new job back in their home state of Iowa, and then he and his wife were going to advance in the next stage of their lives, and they wanted to spend more time with their friends, family, and loved ones. So after this debacle, where honestly, like, it seemed as though maybe there was a little bit of there's more going on. You know, you don't talk this way and say that the first time you felt a human connection was when you heard a video game designer talk about their game. Like, that's something when there's something else going on. That's why I said, like, do you need a hug? If I heard somebody saying this type of thing. After this, got married, seems to have settled down. He left the video game industry. I'm not sure what he's doing for work now, but it seems that he has settled, moved into the next phase of life, and is doing well elsewhere outside of the games industry and games journalism industry. So it seems that he landed on his feet and is doing just fine. But the reason I point to this close to a decade after it originally aired was because in hindsight, with 2020 hindsight, we can see how insane this sounds. But this type of dialogue happens all the time with games like Concord, the diehard fans that were talking about that, with people that were defending Suicide Squad, people defending Starfield, people defending all these other games that came out and had serious problems. The problems were readily apparent to anybody looking at it critically and thinking. But if you were just super, super hyped up, you wouldn't see any of it. And if you slip, most people who are just excited for games don't get anywhere near this level. But this is like end stage hypium. Like, this is when you are so down deep in the rabbit hole that there's no digging yourself out. Like, you are